Right, so 11 a.m.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Hi, Professor.
Okay, so it's 11 a.m. Let me just officially start. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining this training organized by the Center for Professional Development. Sorry?
Kiranya masuk mengajar daripada first week lagi lah ni.
Sorry?
We can mute the participant.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So I am Dr. Raini from the Learning Design Unit CPD, and I will be your moderator for this training. Before we start, let's recite Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. Alhamdulillah, for today's training, entitled Thriving in the Academic World, Tips and Tricks for Aspiring Academicians, we have a well-known internal speaker, Prof. Dr. Shukran Abdul Rahman, which is currently the Dean for AHAS KIRKH IUM. Inshallah, it will be until 1 p.m., so it's only for 2 hours. Before I go with the overview training, followed by introducing your speaker, I'd like to first call Director of CPD, Prof. T. Dr. Mira Katiwi, for her welcoming remarks.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Raini, and welcome, Prof. Shukran. It's an honor for us to have you with us. Alhamdulillah. Prof. Shukran is, of course, renowned in the university for his contributions, especially in organizational psychology. And he has been helping a lot of CPD undertaking, especially in revising BTMC modules, and he's currently one of the mentor for BTMC as well. So thank you so much, Prof, for we know your busy schedule is very packed, but we are so honored to have you, to allowing us to steal 2 hours of your time today to be with us, and we look forward to hear the tips and tricks on how to be especially to be aspiring academicians. All of us aware that being academician is not just teaching or delivering content, but we are in IUM, we are beyond that. We are actually a murabbi. One of the roles which honestly makes me fall in love with this university is because in the contract it says I'm not just teaching, I'm actually a murabbi. So I know it's for some it's extra duties. For me, it's something that is different, in which I could learn. It's a lifelong learning to be a murabbi, because it's not, I don't feel I do have that when I start the journey, but and I don't think I have that now, but I'm still learning, and I'm glad that we have a lot of murabbiyah in this university who never stop and never tire teaching us on how to fit the role. So thank you again, and I really hope everyone would be able to absorb as much as possible, and in fact, please don't hesitate to ask questions. Prof. Shukran is among the person who I admire when it comes to answering questions, because he will be very thorough, very careful and very intentional with answering questions. So please ask as much as question as you can, and absorb as much as knowledge as you can in these 2 hours. I'm looking forward to learn from you as well, Prof. Jazakumullah khair, and all the best, everyone. Thank you so much to Dr. Raini and Sister Hilda for arranging the session. All the best to everyone. Thank you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Mira, for the welcoming remark. So now let me just go back to the slide. Okay. So today we are going to have a webinar on thriving in the academic world, tips and tricks for aspiring academicians. For the introduction, the academic world can be a challenging but rewarding environment. This training program aims to equip aspiring academicians with the knowledge and skills necessary to thrive in their chosen field. By providing practical tips and tricks, the program will empower participants to navigate the complexities of academia and achieve their career goals. For the training outcomes, the first one is to equip participants with the essential skills and knowledge required for academic success. Second, to foster a supportive learning environment where participants can network and share experiences. The third one is to provide practical guidance on navigating common challenges faced by academics. And the last one is to increase participants' confidence and motivation to pursue a career in academia. All right, let me introduce you to our speaker, Prof. Dr. Shukran Abdul Rahman. He is a professor at the Department of Psychology and the Dean of AHAS, KIRKHS, IIUM. He holds a Doctor of Occupational Psychology degree from Murdoch University, Australia. He lectures in personal psychology, psychometrics, organizational change and development. His research areas include career development, organizational behavior, academic culture, changes and development in higher education, employability and graduateness of students in higher learning institutions. He was a visiting academic in the Department of Educational Psychology at Kabah University, Saudi Arabia, and visiting academic in University of Science, Malaysia. He is the coordinator for the Graduateness Research Unit and an Associate Research Fellow at the National Higher Education Research Institute, Malaysia. He was also a Distinguished Associate Fellow at the Institute for Psychotherapy, Correctional and Rehabilitation, UM, and a team member of Signature Leadership Program for Asian Higher Education Institutions. Lastly, he is the current president of the Malaysian Psychological Association and executive committee member of the Asian Regional Union of Psychological Societies. Right, so don't forget, 2 CDD points will be awarded to those who fill in the I-10. Inshallah, Sister Hilda will share the I-attend link 15 minutes after training starts, recorded in Zoom attendance for a minimum of a certain duration, and to fill in the evaluation form within 24 hours. And please get ready for the photos to be taken at the end of training. Without further ado, let's welcome Prof. Dr. Shukran Abdul Rahman.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Raini, for the nice introduction, and also thank you, Dr. Mira, for the welcome. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. Assalamualaikum again, and a very pleasant morning to all participants. I'm very pleased to hear the expected outcome just now. I'm not sure whether I'm going to give you skills, but I believe that much of my material would focus on information and knowledge, which you can consider blend in with your current practices. You're being a member of academia, inshallah. Right, so yeah, I'm very delighted to see this number 129, Dr. Rani, participants.
Yes,
Right.
I believe
So
it's
hopefully I'm doing justice to the topic and will help you to thrive in this academic profession, inshallah. I'll be assisted by a set of, simple slides. May I share?
Yes, please, Prof.
Which one? Cannot share.
Can I share?
Try again. Okay. Document. So point. I cannot share that, Raini.
You already assigned as the co-host. Let's see. Did you receive any message, Prof?
No.
Or otherwise, you can send
I'm
slides.
sending to you now.
Yeah, okay.
CPD. Sorry about this. CPD tips. Open system setting. Hang on.
It's okay, Prof. We can assist. So if you could send PowerPoint to me or to anyone here, we will share with you. We will share the screen for you.
I'm trying. Okay. CPD tips. Oh, belum. Yes, I've sent to you, Dr. Mira.
Yeah, receive it. I will share. Okay. Okay.
I hope I've sent the right slides.
Okay. CPD tips. Okay. Is it correct, Prof?
It's coming. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So I hope this is this slide has gone to you in full version. All right. Okay. I'm so sorry for these hiccups. I should have sent to you earlier, Dr. Mira. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I aim to do with you today. I think very basic things. Like I mentioned just now, basically, I'm going to share with you my experience, based on research that we have conducted. The slides disappear.
Yeah, I think there's an error in the file. It's like okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Is it okay, Prof?
All right, you can see that too. Okay. Okay, so by the end of this session, we expect that you will gather information, okay, on what is academic profession. Okay, and the topic given to me is thriving in academic world. What is academic world and what is academic profession? Who are academic professionals? Right, academic world, academic profession, and academic professionals. Tip and tricks for aspiring academician. I think I'm not going to give you tips or tricks, but information which you can tailor make to make them interventions for you to position yourself in academic world. Because if we talk about tricks and tips, it's as if like we are imposing you to take up a set of guideline, for you to position yourself in this world of academia, right? I think we are different, our personality is different, our ecosystem is different, and our domain of knowledge is different. Maybe the setting that we are working is also different, so that we have to tailor make our what you call that, the work process, work culture, and work climate differently, right? So perhaps information that you can use, that you can base to develop intervention for you to grow, okay, in the world of academia, right? So this is tips and tricks. Okay, maybe for the title we can use this, but in actual fact, you know, we are not going to give you a set of guide or tips for you to just take and implement. Okay, depends on your situation and your background as well. For aspiring academicians, I think all of us are academics, and maybe some of us are academician too, right? What is academic? Academics are members of academia, members in university, in colleges, right? So we are academics. And who are academicians? Academicians are renowned scholars who are members of academy. That we have Academy Science Malaysia, Academy of Medical Malaysia, Academy Perubatan Malaysia. So if we are a member of those academy, then we are academician. I think Dato' Tahir has last time corrected us that, you know, we are only academics, and inshallah we can become academician if we are being accepted to join any academy, like Academy of Science, something like that. Right, so where are we working? The world of work. The world of work that we are working is academia. What is academic work? What is academic world? And what is university? Okay, are we like a school? Are we like university college? Or are we like polytechnics, right? So we want to know also where we are serving, okay, where we are standing, and where we are contributing. Who are our stakeholders, right? We are working with whom, right? So by knowing our stakeholders, we can also position, okay, ourselves as a careerist, okay, in this university. Why are we in this institution? Why are we in academic world? What are the functions of academic world? Something I think we can refresh today as well, right? I believe all of you know where we stand and why we are here as well. So today we are going to relook at the functions of university and our functions as well as academic. Okay, we no longer use the word lecturer nowadays because, okay, we are a full-fledged academic member. What is academic member as opposed to only lecturer? So when are we delivering our tasks, duties, and responsibilities as academic members? How do we manage our tasks? How do we manage our duties? And how do we carry out our responsibilities? Right? Something that we want to focus as well. And the last one might be related to what you say, tips and tricks, the strategies to accomplish the amanah of academics. So think this is IIUM. We do not talk about KPI. We do not talk about outcome only, but we're talking about our amanah. What are our amanah as ahli academic, right? So being IIUM, okay, we are standing as a center of knowledge, as a center to nurture competencies among our students and also among our clients, so that they can help, or so that they can be empowered to change the society. Go to the mission of IIUM, go to the education philosophy of IIUM. IIUM is established to bring back the supremacy of the community through education service, right? So we are hired to join IIUM because we want to help IIUM in carrying out this obligation or this responsibility. So what are the strategies to accomplish this amanah as IIUM academic members, right? So that would give us some uniqueness, right? So what makes us different from academics and other institutions? Because of the amanah that we are, you know, shouldered on, right? We are now shouldering amanah which correspond to the IIUM mission with IIUM education philosophy and also with IIUM vision, inshallah. So far so good, Dr. Raini. So these are the 6 areas that I will cover. Dr. Mira?
Yes, Prof.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, moving on. So this is what I plan to do in this 2-hour time. So we'll be looking at that 6 area. Okay, what is academic profession now? And then the academic world, the stakeholders, the functions, and how do we manage our tasks, duties, and responsibilities, and some strategies or the initial information on the strategies that we can consider taking in order to discharge our amanah as ahli academic. Okay, next. Right, the academic profession. Last time when I applied for a job, I applied for the job of a lecturer. Then I didn't know that as an academic member, I have to do the TCRIP. TCRIP are the short form that we use in this Kulliyyah: teaching and learning activities, consultancy and services, research, innovation, publication, TCRIP. Plus, we have to do leadership as well. Like Dr. Mira, Dr. Raini are doing leadership job now. They're leading others to do good TCRIP, right? Teaching, consultancy, research, innovation, publication, administration, and also management. Right, so to the public, now ACAP, I think you know ACAP. ACAP has a module called academic profession. So what is academic profession? ACAP has been hosting training to young academics, and I think IIUM has been sending young academics as well, okay, to follow the 2-day training on developing academic profession. So in the workshop, okay, we give the whole idea of what academic profession is and what academia is, what is the world of academia is as well, right? So the profession of academic has been regarded as highly prestigious profession. I don't know whether the situation is still the same now, but it used to be regarded as a prestige profession, okay, in the community, right? So it entails combination of TCRIP activities, as I said just now, right? And the activities requires academic to what? Many reported that they have to devote much time on work and forego the conveniences of life outside academia. One trainer in ICAP told the participants that if you want to become rich people, do not serve the university, do not work in university, because in university you have to devote much of your time to research, publication, teaching, services, but the return is not as high or as luxury as when you work in corporate sectors. Now, this is one of the idea. Right, I think depends on how we position ourselves as well. We know that many of us or many academic members are also involved in businesses, and they do well both in academia and also in their business. The activities of academic professional can require them to relate with others inside their university, outside the university as well. Okay, within their profession, outside their profession as well. Yeah, and we are going to look at our community or as our stakeholder. Who are our stakeholders? And one important thing, okay, this profession also involves continuous professional development. And I think CPD is tasked to provide professional development. Okay, what does CPD develop? Okay, professionalism of academic members in that TCRIP area. And I believe that CPD has been designing and also implementing plus reviewing development programs that help us to advance or champion teaching and learning, right? On how to do consultancy, how to provide services to the community. CPD has also organized training on how to become good researchers, okay, how to create innovation, okay, and how to publish as well. So this is the area that CPD, okay, help us, okay, in developing our professionalism, right? So that is under professional development process. So from time to time, we register ourselves with training and development programs organized by at least our CPD, if not ACAP, or if not higher education leadership training and development organized by other institutions, right? So this is what we call our job description as academic, as ahli academic, right? So we talk about our tasks, our duties, and our responsibilities. What are our tasks? What are our duties? And what are our responsibilities being an academic, right? It's not only lecturing. It's not only lecturing, or we cannot forget or forego lecturing because we want to do research and publication only, or we want to go to the community and serve them only without linking our services with teaching, with publication, whatnot, right? So this is why we use the word combinations. We use the term combinations because our work involves the synergy of all these activities. Plus, at times, you have to do leadership as well, at least as coordinator of committee in your own department. Can we move to the next page? Right, so academic profession involve performances, and this is where many institutions tie our work with key performance indicator, right? So most of the time we heard of KPI to focus on publication, to focus on research, to focus on how many postgraduates we have supervised, right? So these are the job performances, but we have to also take care of the process to do, to accomplish the performances, right? So what are the processes that we have embarked on before we come up with, the outcome of the performances? So I think this is what we are worried of, Dr. Mira, right? And this is why we are giving this some intervention program, so that we also matter the process, so that the process of our teaching, the process of our publication, the process of our publication would correspond well with the missions of IUM, with the 7 missions of IUM. IUM is here to nurture competent scholars, CI, ISP. I think the missions talk about 3 groups of clients: intellectuals, scholars, and professionals. So we are here to nurture intellectuals, to nurture scholars, to nurture professionals. Now, this is what we have to deal with in our teaching. Not only that, there are also scholars out there whom we have to outreach, maybe through consultancy and publication. Now, how do we do that, right? So we have also goal-focused performance dimension. Now, this is very much related to your promotion to associate professor, later to your professor. Now, this is goal-focused. Now, we have process-focused. We have also goal process or goal focus. And one important thing is the contextual performance. Not only the job performance, but also the contextual performance. Here, I would like to emphasize on us delivering the missions or realizing the missions of IUM, or including, or what you call that, referring to our education philosophy. Now, IUM has its unique IUM education philosophy. Now, that is the context, right? So when we teach in IUM, now Dr. Mira mentioned Murabbi just now, so where do we bring the element of Murabbi and Murabbiyah in us? Now, that's the context, right? So when we teach in another university, their context is different. Or if I come from another university, right? So the context of my previous university is different. And I have to now learn the ethos of IUM. So where are the ethos of IUM? The ethos of IUM can be found in her education philosophy, in her mission statement, in her vision, in her other document as well. Now we have SAF framework some more, right? So there you can find the ethos of IUM, and our work has got to be linked to that context, right? So this is one of the important, what you call that, guideline or tips, if you like, when you want to operate as an academic in IUM, right? So we are the agent to realize the ethos of IUM, and we have got to have our own ethics in that sense, right? So the above performances, whether it is process-based, goal-based, or contextual-based, would develop our academic scholarship, our kesarjanaan. We want our kesarjanaan to be polished along the line of our involvement in the performances, right? So the above will also lead to the kemenjadian. In Malay, we call it kemenjadian. In English, we call it graduateness of our students. Now, after our students have gone through the process of education, 1 + 5, okay, foundation, and then 4 years or 3.5 years or 3 years of undergraduate, okay, have they attained the outcome that we have designed for them, right? So if you know, I think you are part of it as well. When you design curriculum, okay, you have also designed the program learning outcome, right? Program education objective. Now, to what extent, okay, we have managed to nurture our students so that they are able to acquire the knowledge, the skills, the abilities, and the values that we have designed for them for their education processes. Right, so that graduateness is something that we have to care for as well, that we have to give attention as well when we are dealing with our students. So their graduateness, right? So I think most of them are not, very often we listen, we hear people saying that we are not workforce mill. IUM definitely is not a workforce mill, but we are a place whereby we nurture individuals so that the individuals can be good community members. They can become good khalifah in that sense when they go back, when they join the world work, or when they return to their community. All right, so we have tasks. We have our tasks, duties, responsibilities. If we give all of our time, our effort, would not only develop our scholarship in the area we specialize, but also other scholarship as well. Now, we would like to highlight 5 main areas of scholarship in IIUM. 5 bentuk kesarjanaan. There are 5 areas of scholarship in IIUM that you can develop, that you can contribute. One is scholarship or discovery. That is very much pertaining to your specialization or your subject matter expertise. Like Prof. Mira's discovery, scholarship discovery is, I think, ICT, artificial intelligence, for example. That is, your research will focus on discovering new knowledge, all right? Discovering a new invention and things like that. That is one scholarship that you publish. Another scholarship is scholarship of teaching and learning. Excuse me. Kesarjanaan dalam bidang pengajaran dan pembelajaran, the scholarship of teaching and learning. Now, you can also thrive to become developer of module, how to best teach Islamic economics, for example, how to best teach psychology, how to best teach communication, how to best teach medicine or pharmacy, right? So that is very much on teaching and learning scholarship. You do research on teaching and learning. Like my specialization is occupational psychology, but my research is also on how to teach psychology, okay? What are the challenges in learning psychology, for example? So that is the what you call that, scholarship of teaching and learning. Now the third scholarship is in IUM. Okay, we champion Islamization, integration, relevantization, right? So that would also involve research, right? So you can do publication research in the area of Islamization, integration as well. So third scholarship is scholarship of Islamization, scholarship of integration of knowledge. Now, we do a lot of community engagement, and that need reports, that require reporting. So whatever good thing that you have done with the community should be reported, and that would lead to the scholarship of community engagement. And I think the last one is scholarship of application. Now, we do not want knowledge to be only used for publication. Okay, it must not stop at the theory level. It must not stop at findings level. The findings has to also be applied, right? So we are using knowledge, Islamic knowledge, behavioral science knowledge, scientific knowledge, technology, and whatever knowledge we champion, okay, to change, to improve, to also develop the community, and that can be documented too and reported in your publication. That is scholarship of application. Now, these are the 5 areas of scholarship which are acceptable, okay, as your performances. Okay, so long as you have, okay, that in your what you call that, academic activities. Okay, next. Right, so we talk about Murabbi just now. Okay, how to become Murabbi. Right, so job spec of IIUM lecturer or IIUM academic. What are the job specification? I think just now I used the word job description. The job description refer to your tasks, duties, responsibility, while job specification refer to your competencies. What are the knowledge that we require, that we need to have in order to be good teacher or good murabi? What are the skills that we have to acquire in order to become good teacher and good murabi? What are the abilities that we have to develop in us in order to become a IUM lecturer? And what are the values? What are the other characteristics, okay, that we have to have? Other factors. So we say, okay, as specification of competencies, we need to have knowledge, not only the knowledge, okay, of our specialization, but knowledge on how to become teacher, how to become murabbi, how to become researcher, how to become consultant, how to become authors. We have to have that knowledge. And that knowledge is not adequate or sufficient. We need to have the skills as well. And with the knowledge and skills, we have to do. Then only we have the ability. Right? So we have to work with other people. We have to work with senior, for example, for us to develop our ability together with them. And the most important thing is our values. Why are we doing this? We are doing this because of our amanah. We are doing this because we are Khalifah on this world. Right? We are doing this because we are earning. Right? We are here in IUM not only as, no, we do not want to use this word, wager. Kita bukan hanya pemakan gaji. We come to work not because we are wager here, but we come to work because we are discharging our amanah as academic member of IUM. IUM some more, okay, with that, 7 missions to be realized, to be attained or to be accomplished. Right? So we have to have this specification as murabbi, okay, in order to accomplish edification activities. Okay, we have heard the word education a lot, right? So in our literature, we also have this word tarbiyah, right? I think for lack of better word in English, okay, we come across this term edification, or this word edification, to edify. So what is edification? Edification is a more personal and informal process in order to develop or to improve moral and intellectual aspects of competencies in our students, or maybe in our stakeholders, in our client, right? So as murabbi, okay, we do beyond teaching, right? We do not want our students to only learn principles and theories, but to also acquire or to catch values from us, right? So some people say that values are not taught, values are caught. So how are we going to become murabbi so that the good values that we exemplify, that we show, can be caught by our students, right? So our students observe us, and when they observe us, they catch good values that we portray, okay, in them, right? So in order to become murabbi as well, we have to spend time not only in formal setting, we have to show and teach values not only in formal setting, as well as in non-formal, as well as in informal education setting. What is formal? What is non-formal? What is informal education setting? Dr. Mira will organize another workshop for that. Okay, so the required specification to become an academic require you to have knowledge. Knowledge to become murabbi, knowledge to become academic, right? So like today we are learning on how to be, we are learning the knowledge about academic professional, about academic profession. And what are the skills? There are many skills needed. Okay, not only the skills to teach, but the skills to promote learning as well. How to promote learning, okay, how to manage learning style, right? So what are the other skills? Skills to write so that we can publish well. Skill to do research, right? Not only the knowledge, but also the skill to do research. And I said just now, ability require us to really do it. We must not only know the what, we must not only know the how, but we have to also do it so that we have the abilities. And the O part, the other characteristics, okay, like, knowledge change from time to time. So we have to have this professional development. The interest has to be always high. The values have to always be correct, right? So this is because our university focus on values internalized character building, right? It is not only value based, but values internalized. But a question remains is, the question that remains is, to what extent we have inculcate or instill values when we deal with our stakeholders, especially our students. Okay, next. Mira, a bit more on Murabbi. Okay, in IUM, okay, before that, Dr. Mira. In IUM, an academic is also a Murabbi. Now, how are we perceiving this, or how are we taking this? Is it of two roles or two integrated one role, right? So some say that, no, we are teacher in class, but we are Murabbi outside class, or we are blending, I mean, everything's blended in one role. Or Murabbi is also an instructor, or what our friends in education say, pedagogue, or pedagogue is a person who do not only teach, but they also instill values, right? So the term that I used just now was edifies. So a Murabbi edifies, a Murabbi educates. How do they do that? By integrating academic teaching with moral and spiritual mentorship. Okay. Now, after this, we are going to look at our functions as a university, right? So as a university, our functions are intellectual development, and then educational development, and then the social development. Now, this is from the UNESCO literature. But in IUM, we have one more function, which is spiritual development. Right? So yeah, this is where the edification comes in. We are here to nurture our students so that they do not only have knowledge, they do not only have skills, they do not only have interest, but they have the positive values as well. And they know how to relate well with others. They know how to relate well with their job. They know how to relate well with environment. They know how to relate well with themselves. They know how to relate well with their creator. Right? So all their focus is not on here and now. Their focus is not only graduation. Their focus is not only on the employment. Their focus is also on their family, on their community, and themselves in the hereafter. Now, this is spirituality. Professor Muhammad Kamal Hassan, when he wrote a paper on spirituality, he talks about the ability of us having harmonious relationship with ourselves, others, environment, creator. Here, now, future. Right. So that is Murabbi. Now, in our teaching, okay, when we nurture learning among our students, have we included these aspects? Okay, have we addressed this? Why do you have this knowledge? You have this knowledge because you are going to be empowered. With the knowledge, you're going to be empowered to manage yourself, manage your work, manage your community, bring betterment or bring well-being to others, yourself, here and also in the hereafter. Now, our aim as Murabbi in IUM is to develop well-rounded individuals with knowledge, with skills, with abilities and good characteristics and values. Good ethics. Okay, that is one important attributes of IUM. Not only clever, not only intelligence, but values as well. They have good values, they have good ethics. IUM has good ethos. IUM members, alumni, academics have good ethics. Right? So if our organizations have good ethos, but we have bad ethics, no, it doesn't work. Right? So we have to have balance. Good ethos has to be translated into good ethics of its members. And we have got roles to play. CPD has got roles to play. Kulliyyah has got roles to play as well, in order to make sure that the ethos are being translated into all academic activities so that we can have ethical individuals as our outcome. All-rounded, well-rounded, holistic are the term that we use here. Right? We do not our students to be clever student, high CGPA, but when it comes to values, when it comes to ethics, okay, they have poor ethics, they have zero values, and we do not want them. Okay, we do not want to contribute to the bad statistics of bad people out there in the world of work. Enough with bad statistics of bad people in the market. So as Murabbi, we guide, we mentor students beyond the traditional duties of teaching. Right? So Murabbi also develop curricula, conduct research, foster positive learning environment, contribute to academic growth, personal growth of students. Yes, I envy my colleagues because they have 4 classes per week, while I only have 1. You know, because I have to do admin, so I have less interaction with students. But I have to make sure that all my colleagues can take this role as Murabbi, right? As teacher, instructor, and sometimes they are also proxy parents to their children, to the students, right? I mean, do we have to do this? Some say that no, I mean, we are not proxy parents. Our duties is only go to class, teach, assess, do research, publish, so that we meet our KPI. Now, Tan Sri Zul, okay, when he met us, when he was meeting us many times, mentioned in IUM, okay, our work is not based on KPI, based on our amanah, as are the academic in that sense. Okay, next, we are still at number 1. We have 6 to cover. Okay, next. Where do we work? Yeah, Dr. Rani mentioned the word academia just now. What is academia? Okay, the environment or the community were concerned with the pursuit of research, education, and scholarship. Right? So IUM being a full-fledged university, okay, we are focusing on what? Knowledge generation through research, okay, knowledge dissemination through teaching, through publication, and also knowledge application through community engagement or community service and consultation. All IUM employees, not only employees, but students as well, are the players in academia. We are not school. When we give assignment to our students, okay, we are engaging them to generate knowledge. We are training them to disseminate knowledge. We are also training them to develop the ability to apply knowledge. We are not giving them homework, right? So this make them also talent or forces in the academia. All right. So they are also knowledge workers. They are future intellectuals, they are future scholars, they are future professionals. This is what IUM mission stressed. IUM mission stresses that, right? So IUM is here to nurture competent intellectuals, right? Scholars and also professionals. So students who come to our class, we have to see them as future scholars, future intellectuals, future professionals. So they have to be best served. And the service that we render, that we provide to them, has to be based on our ethos. Okay, next. As I mentioned just now, I'm not giving you tricks and tips, but information, idea, knowledge, which you can turn into your intervention to position yourself as thriving or as successful academics. So yeah, where are we now working? We are working in university, and university, according to literature, is a center which develops human being, which develops society. Okay, how? By equipping them with necessary competencies. What do we give them? We give them competencies. And when we say competencies, we are focusing on knowledge. Like in class, you give them knowledge. You give them assignment so that they can relate their knowledge with some skills, so that they develop their abilities. And in IUM, competencies also include values. Okay, our Islamization, I think in all classes, we are addressing the Islamic perspective of our principle. Every time you teach something, you are going to relate it with Islamic perspective. And I'm going to give you some tips after this on how to relate our principles and knowledge to Islamic perspective. University is a center which emphasizes on the link between teaching, research, and extension of services to community. We are not teaching, okay, we are not teaching in silo. Okay, we are relating. We should relate our teaching with our own research. We do not want to do research in one area, teach in another separate or different area, and our service is of another area, right? So in university, we emphasize the link between what we teach, what we research, and what we serve the community. University is a center which nurture the development of good citizen, right? So the concept of employability, as you always heard, okay, is always biased towards the world of work, right? So every year we conduct tracer study. In tracer study, okay, we are assessing our graduates' employability. Okay, the literature says that employability is not employment. Okay, we are checking their employment status, and we report their employability. You know, employability is about their citizenry as well, whether they can use, they can apply knowledge, whether they are knowledgeable people who can be benefited from, okay, in the community. That is employment. That is employability. If our graduates go back to their society and they contribute to the society by teaching something, you know, pro bono, for example, that is also employable. But we are checking on their employment status, but reporting their employability. So we here in university to develop citizen for our country as well. Now, this is why we have some university courses, okay, which are designed by the government. You know, every university has to teach PITAS, for example. This is because, or hubungan ethnic, for example, because this is to develop their citizenry, and also workforce for long-term academic activities. University generate, produces, reproduces, preserves, systematizes, organizes, and transmit knowledge so that the knowledge can be used to change, to improve, to develop the society. And university trains talent who are high quality, all-rounder, holistic, and have the mind of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur. This is new. If you go to government of Malaysia, this is what we have to do as well. We have to give them job skills. Some argue that we must not give them job skills. We have to give them knowledge, because job skills can be acquired once they join the world of work, right? So we are not a red brick institution, or we are not polytechnics. We are not TVET institution. We are university. So we have to focus on this knowledge generation, publication, and so on. Next. Okay, we move to the next one. Just to show you the 7 missions of IUM. And from this 7 missions, we highlight 4 pillars, which are triple ICE, Islamization, integration, internationalization, and comprehensive excellence. But when Tan Sri Zul came, Tan Sri Zul mentioned, stressed the importance of going back to these 7 missions so that we know how to strategize, we know what to do in our academic activities. So these are the 7 missions worth checked back by all academics so that we know what to focus, what to stress, and how to shape our academic activities at the TCRIP level. Next. Okay, who are our stakeholders? Right? So in IUM, okay, we nurture good students, we nurture good individuals so that they can become good Khalifah. Right? They can have the Khalifah attributes. They can uphold amanah of knowledge. Right? They will continue the culture of learning, the culture of Iqra, and they can bring benefit to the humanity, rahmatan lil alamin. So we are guided by the Surah Taubah ayat 122, right? And it is not for the believers to go forth to the battle all at once, right? For they should be separate from every division of them, a group, students, remaining to obtain understanding in the religion, deen, they translate the word deen as religion, but here the word deen refer to the way of life, right? So there must be a group of people who learn about way of life, right? So in IUM, in any university, we learn about way of life. We learn how to take care of the world. We learn how to take care of people. We learn how to take care of resources. Right? With that learning, with that knowledge, with that skills, they will go back to the community and guide their community. Now, this is what we have to do. We have to make sure that students, when they are with us, they are nurtured. They are given competencies so that they are enabled, they are empowered to return to the community to serve. Next. So these are our stakeholders. Now, who are our stakeholders? Right? We know that students are our main stakeholders, but they are not all. The learning community are our students, whether they come to have full-time lesson or classes with us, or they come for short-term course, or we also go to their place, conduct short-term course, okay, learning community, maybe potential learners, or learning community who have left us, the alumni community. So this is learning community. Learned community, many times we engage scholars from other places, other part of the world to come and give lectures, give keynote address. We also send our students' work for evaluation. We also send our colleagues' work for assessment. Now we also engage learned community, scholars community. We send our students for internship, practicum. We also appoint professionals, industrial leaders to become our board of study members. So these are the community that we engage as well. We invite them from time to time to lecture, to address our community, to address our students. And the last one is public community. So I think the focus has been much on the public community where we go out and serve them, right? So these are the stakeholders that we are dealing with, and we must bring benefit to them in our academic activities. So this is some important notes as well, so that we do not only deal with our students in class, but this group as well. Now, I mentioned the three, why do we do academic activities? Why do we do TCRIT? Why do we do teaching and learning? Why do we do publication? Why do we do research? Why do we consultancy? Why do we do publication? Now, this is because as the world of academic, or as academe, or as academia members, okay, our tasks are related to these three functions. Intellectual function, right? So we generate, we conduct research, we publish, right? So this is only intellectual function. But what do we do with the findings? How do we relate, or how do we apply the findings and theory to develop our society? Yeah, right? So when we teach our students, we teach them values as well. We teach them ethics as well, so that they can go back and become good societal members, or members of society. Right? In IIUM, we are heavy on this education or edification, and this focus on values. Right? So this is not only happening in IIUM. This is the ideal functions of all universities as written by UNESCO. Right? But as time passes by, okay, many universities have only focused on social development. They are only focusing on workforce development for the society. They are only producing workforce, right? So they are becoming like workforce meal for industries, okay, at the expenses of values. Or when they do research, they only do research for glory. They want to become best university. They want to be ranked first. They want to quickly become professor. They want to quickly climb the ladder of academic rank. Now, so this should not be the case. Like, we have to have the combination of these three functions. Now, these are the tips. Okay, if you want to thrive as good or successful or as genuine academic members. Now, these are the amanah of ahli academic, right? So our function is to generate knowledge so that we contribute to the intellectual function. Our task, our responsibilities is also to develop good members of the society. This is social function. And we have to also educate, edify our students, and also relate values or convey good values, teach good values to our community. So this is the educational functions. Okay, next, Dr. Raini. Now, this is how do we manage? Can we do all? When do we do the 5 decrypt? Oh, we have no time to do research because we are busy teaching. IIUM is a teaching heavy university. We teach 4 courses, we teach 4 sections, right? So how do we balance between teaching, research, publication, engagement? Yes, right? So that then which one do we choose? I mean, is our publication only on the subject matter, or our publication is on teaching and learning? Is our publication is on only on Islamization, or on application, or on engagement? Right? So yeah, our career is academic. Academic profession is our career. So we are academic professional, as we have seen just now. Some say that we have to forego our life but devote to our university. Now, I don't believe in that, because I take academic profession as a career, not as a job, but as a career, right? So the literature said career is a combination of job and leisure, right? So I have to have satisfaction from what I do. You want to have job satisfaction as well. You want to enjoy doing your job as well. You must not feel burdensome when you have to do teaching. What more to do research, and what more to do publication, and where to place your family as well, right? And people are talking about work-life balance, right? What is work-life balance? I think work-life balance have so many ways of doing it. For some people, their work-life balance is separating work and life. They come to work at 8, go back at 5, for example, without thinking, doing anything for their family, right? And then when they get back home, they don't do anything about their work anymore. They don't read, they don't write. Now we can't do that, right? So, for example, when I was young, when I come to work, I also take care of my family. For example, at certain time, I would go fetch children, I would go buy food, send them home. So during my official work hours, there are also family time. And during my so-called family time, there are also work. So it's a blend of work and family throughout the 24 hours. So, so you can identify your way of work-life balance, right? So without separating work and family, I think everything can be blended as well, right? So there is no one fixed way of having work and life. For me, work and life has to be blended together so that you will care for both. You will care for your family and for your work as well, without jeopardizing, either one. Okay, next. Yeah, strategies to accomplish the amanah of academics. Okay, as an academic, our job required is to focus on what? The approaches to generate knowledge. Okay, now this is what I thought. This is what I've shared in our BTMC recently. Now, being an academic in IIUM, okay, our focus is not only on the methodology, our focus is not only on the subject matter, okay, but we focus on these 4. When we teach, we have to give. When we work as well, when we write, we have to focus on these 4 areas or 4 properties of knowledge. What are the 4 properties of knowledge? Okay, we focus on the scientific way. I mean, the focus is on the methodology to source knowledge. Okay, the approach to generate knowledge. Okay, we adopt the integrated approach. In IIUM, we adopt the integrated knowledge. Now, coming from human science, for example, okay, not the hard science, the human science. How do we source knowledge on psychology? How do we source knowledge on human characteristics? Okay, what are the characteristics of human? So we do empirical study, right? So that is one source, empirical study. But in IIUM, we say that we do Islamization. So our source of knowledge is also the divine sources, the revealed knowledge, Quran, Sunnah, okay, the Torah, okay, the heritage, the literature which were written by Islamic scholars. Okay, these are the approaches to generate knowledge. Okay, we focus on mainstream and also Islamic source in that sense. The truths of subject matter, okay, the truths of principles that we teach, the theories that we teach, okay, in the body of our knowledge, right? So because of the first focus, which is what you call epistemology just now, because our epistemology is mainstream and revealed sources, so our subject matter or our principles, our knowledge, or our theories of knowledge become wider. Okay, we have rich body of knowledge, we have wider focus of knowledge or rich scope of knowledge, because your epistemology, the epistemology of knowledge was both Islamic and also mainstream knowledge. Now we focus on values, right? When we teach, we focus on values. When we interact with our students, when we write as well, we focus on values. And one important thing that we have to always stress is the maqasid, the purpose of knowledge. Okay, the purpose of knowledge as well. So when we teach, when we generate knowledge or research, when we write report, okay, we focus on this, the purpose of knowledge. Okay, what is the functions or purpose of having that knowledge? Not only for the worldly life, but also the hereafter as well. So this is our sustainable development. Our sustainable development is not only for 10 years down the road, but for 100 years from now as well, when we go to the afterlife. Next. Right? So the roles of Murabbi, this is the repetition of what I've said just now. The roles of Murabbi is to guide students by focusing on integrated approach or holistic approach. So we focus on the sources, the reality of knowledge, the values, and also the purpose. All right, next. Okay, strategies. How to accomplish the amanah of ahli academic or academic members. Personal, at personal level, this is for myself. Okay, this is what I tried to internalize my role. Or this is also the attempt or the effort that I put in order for me to enjoy my work, right? So I have to understand the tasks, duties, and responsibilities of academic member. Okay, not only to understand, but to internalize as well, menghayati. Okay, to internalize my tasks, to internalize my duties, to internalize my roles as academic member. What if I do not do? Who else are doing this, right? Okay, I have to also understand my role as member of IIUM. Okay, so what does it mean to be IIUM academic, right? So do I look at academic member in other universities? Yes, I look at their functions, I look at their role, but I have to relate, you know, what I observe with what is expected of me in IIUM. Okay, to lead others, to inspire others, to show the ways to others, to compliment others, to support others, to facilitate others. This is important, right? So when you inspire others, you will be inspired as well. When you show way to others, you will be shown the way by others as well. You compliment other colleagues will compliment you as well. When you support others, others will come to support you, will invite you to join their project, right? When you facilitate others, your work will be eased by others as well. So this is at the personal level. Be good to others, others will be good to you, right? So no way that we can work in silo, no way that can work alone, you know, in academia, right? Because this is a community of knowledge workers. Now, at the institutional level, okay, we need to understand, okay, the land that we are stepping on, right? We have to understand the university ethos, the philosophy of IIUM. Where to get this? I think in the IIUM constitution, okay, there is IIUM education philosophy. It is also available on website. And I think CPD also has the printed one, okay? The IIUM 7 missions, rarely that we hear triple ICE anymore now. Okay, if you go to the rectory, in fact, all Kulliyyah, okay, you have to showcase the 7 missions. The 7 missions are the, what we call that, the reasons of why we are here. The 7 missions, okay, are the statement that outline the reasons of our being. Why we are standing here because of that 7 reasons or 7 mission. The raison d'être or the reason for establishment. We are established because of that 7 mission, and these 7 missions are still relevant. And why we are hired by IUM? We are hired by IUM to accomplish that 7 missions, to help IUM in attaining, in delivering that 7 missions. Right? So we need to understand that. We need to internalize that so that we have more meaning. Yeah, when we deliver certain tasks, duties, and responsibilities, there will be higher level of job satisfaction. We will enjoy delivering our tasks, duties, and responsibilities because we know that we are helping the university in discharging the 7 missions. And we know that the earning, the income that we bring back pays off as well. The structural level, technological level, we have to improve our resources. I think the university must provide good resources. Okay? We have to tell the university that we need this resource, that resources. We have to understand the work processes. We try our best to make sure that the work processes are being adhered to. Okay, what are the outcomes? We do not want to only focus on the processes without worrying on the outcomes. As I mentioned just now, we have to put our effort in making sure that students who come to stay with us for 4 years, okay, will bring back some attributes. We'll go out with them with the expected attributes. And the last one is the engagement. How do we relate with others? Relate with others inside the university, as I have said just now. We have to also engage with outsiders, others with outside the Kulliyyah, outside the university. There are many scholars in other universities, locally and internationally, that you can work with, that you can learn from, right? So also engage the community, the professional community, the learning community, and the public at large, right? By having this, accomplishing activities in organized manner. Okay, so after this, we are going to tell you about synergized academic activities, whereby we accomplish the TCRIP in a structured way by linking it with the teaching, with the research, with the publication, with the engagement with the community. Okay, next. Okay. Some of the effort that we do to help our academics thrive academically, right? So we tell them this, like in AHAS KRK test, we declare this 2 months, okay, after the previous semester and before the next semester begin as scholarship advancement program. So here we encourage our academics to focus on their research, to focus on their article, okay, to complete their book or start new book writing. They don't have to complete everything within these 2 months, but these 2 months are the, months whereby they focus more on this research, publication, consultancy, as well as preparing for next semester's teaching. Okay, like at the departmental level, each department organize seminar whereby everybody, every academic member has to present their paper. So at least this year, if they don't go to any conference, they will have a paper that they present at the department. Now in our Kulliyyah, we have 11 departments. So 11 department is organizing this scholarship advancement program day, whereby all academic members are presenting at least 1 paper. Right, so for this year, they have 1 paper presented, in addition to conference seminar that they organize. So at the Kulliyyah level, yeah, there are many workshops that we organize to provide them skills, okay, skills to write, skill to teach, any related skills, okay, that can make them good academic members. Okay, and our ibadah camp is also related to advancing their academic profession. Okay, next. Okay, one innovation, or one, what we call that, jihad that we do to help our academic members structure their academic activities is to have this synergized academic activity, right? So what is synergized academic activity? Okay, synergized academic activity is an activity which is designed to develop students' ability in evaluating issues faced by the community. So this is for the students. We want the students to relate their knowledge with what is happening in the community, right? It requires students to highlight the application of the principles covered in the course. It also requires students to address the identified issues from Islamic perspective. Now, this is one way of integrating knowledge. Now, we integrate knowledge with knowledge. We also integrate knowledge with scenario on the ground. Now, this is one tips that we can share with you. Okay. So further detail of the nature and structure of the assignment will be outlined by instructors. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a class activity actually. This class activity is an effort of an instructor to combine his research with his teaching. Okay? Teaching is combined with research. Now, these two, teaching and research, is combined with engagement, whereby we go to village, we go to nearby kampung, engaging the community, right? Not only servicing the community, but engaging the community. Before we can serve them, we would want to know what they want first, so that we do research, we do study to identify issues that they encounter. So there is a research element there, right? And then students will write a report. Now that is publication. Now students can publish that, right? Students can publish their report, right? And then they will come up with module. They will come up with suggestion. Now that is something that we can relate to innovation. Right? So this is at the micro level. We try to synergize all the T-CRIP activities through teaching and learning process. What are the deliverables? Students write report on their findings and recommend solution to the identified issues. Students develop psychoeducation video in order to educate the community, right? So who are involved? The whole class involvement and potential outcome for the lecturer, okay? Compilation of a book chapter, okay? For an edited book. Now this can be edited book. Some lecturers have this edited book. They edit their students' compilation of report. Article to be submitted as a chapter in edited book. Article to be submitted to journal. Registration of copyright for the produced video. Right? So this is some of the ways to thrive as an academic member without neglecting one from the T-CRIP list. Okay, next. Yes, so this is something that we do as a workshop. We train our academic members who are interested to take SAA as their initiative, synergize academic activities as a means to fortify academic and institutional performances. So we do not teach one area, do research another area, do engagement in another area, and publication in another area. So we combine all under one structured project. Yeah. Okay, do we have else? Yeah, I think that's my first round, Dr. Rani.
Thank you, Prof. Do you want to take a break, Prof?
Yeah, I'm okay. I think there are questions if you would like to.
Yeah, maybe we can proceed with question and answer, Dr. Raini.
Okay. So there's someone mentioned about, okay, Dr. Wan Ahmad Fauzi mentioned about ethical dimension.
Okay. Ethical dimension in our academic activities.
I believe so, yes. He already left, but then yeah, I think he can watch the
I
video.
think when I talk about the focus just now, I would like to use this line of property of knowledge. I think when I talked to BTMC team the other day, we talk about the IUM education philosophy. The IUM education philosophy focus on the E-OAT notion. E-OAT notion, what are the E-OAT notion? The epistemological notion, then the ontological notion, then the axiological notion, axiology, the axiology of knowledge, and the teleological notion. If you go to the IEM education philosophy, you will see that all statements are focusing on the axiology of knowledge, the values. IUM is a values-heavy focus university, right? So if you want to learn accounting, you want to learn psychology, you can go to any university. But when you come to IUM, the focus is on values, right? The ethics, the ethics. What are the ethics? Okay, what are the what you call the internal regulator that we are developing? We are developing the internal regulator in our graduates so that when they are tested, with all the challenges out there, at least they have their values to regulate their actions, to regulate their thinking. And then we want them to have strong values. And this is our function, this is our role to develop that strong function, to develop that strong values, to develop that strong ethics, right? So when they have that strong ethics, they have this conscience in them that can regulate their thinking and then their actions in whatever situation they are, in that sense, right? So the focus is on the E-OAT, right? We do not only focus on the science or the empirical method to generate knowledge, right? We do not only focus on the subject matter or the theory, the principle, the concept, right? But we also focus on the values. We also focus on the valuable practice. What are the valuable practice that can be derived from knowledge that you read or that you generated or that you found, right? The values as well as the valuable practice. So this is the axiology of knowledge that we have to focus when we deal with our stakeholders, especially the students. And the last one is the teleological. Bukan theology, but teleological. If you know Jasir Auda focus on maqasid, right? So what is maqasid? The property of knowledge that talk on maqasid is the teleology of knowledge. We want to know what is the purpose of them having, a set of knowledge. How can that knowledge be applied to CID society, to change, to improve, and to develop the society? Okay, this is why our students have to do UGIT or practicum so that they can link the knowledge, the principle, the theory to change, to improve, to develop whatever they are being exposed to. Okay.
Thank you, Prof. Okay, so we have Dr. Fatima raising her hand. Do you want to ask a question, Dr. Fatima?
Yeah, Dr. Fatima is going to help
Yes.
me, I believe.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Shukran. Uh, I'm in accounting, so and of course we have integrated the Islamic perspective to accounting. And I'm specifically teaching the business ethics and corporate governance course, so business ethics. Sometimes I am concerned that although we try and teach the student values, they know how to respond during assessment. They know how to answer the question when you ask them or give them assignments. But I am concerned whether they have actually inculcated the true Islamic values into their heart. So that is my concern. Of course, in a Islamic environment like IUM, Alhamdulillah, I think many of the students are good. Islamically and so on. But there may be a few in our class where they are only here to get the accounting knowledge.
Mm.
And so worried that we haven't really touched their hearts yet. So do you have any advice, Prof? Thank you.
Oh, it's very, very important but difficult question. But time and again, what is our focus? Is our focus on the knowledge, or is it the emotion, the effect aspect? Are we developing attitude? Are we only developing knowledge in them? I think it goes back to the way we shape our teaching, Dr. Fatima, right? Are we
Right.
focusing on the knowledge, or are we also focusing on the appreciation aspect, the effect notion?
I think well, in accounting, I think we have to address both.
Yeah.
Right? We want them to be competent, and then as an accountant, professionally qualified, have the professional knowledge as an accountant, but they have to be inculcated with the, I think, not only the professional ethics, but more than that, the Islamic values, I think.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So I am aware that there is a revision of curriculum for accounting program, and the focus of the new program is on ethics, right, Dr. Fatima?
Yes, that's right, Prof.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is when we talk about ethics, the focus is on, like you say, knowledge and effect. And when we talk about effect, what are the input that we include in that? Is it only on the consequences here, or consequences in the hereafter as well? How do we bring in the notion of reinforcement and punishment in our input of the course?
I think that's why it's very difficult, Prof. It's difficult, especially if we want to try and kind of have some sort of assessment for it to see whether we have achieved our outcome.
All right. Maybe I do not have a clear-cut answer to your question, but I would like to relate it with an exercise that universities do. Like, I think you are familiar with this tracer study, right? Tracer study. Tracer study is
Yes, Prof.
Tracer study is actually a study conducted by universities 5 years after a student leave the university, like my university, and I think some Professor Suhaimi is also here. My university would connect back, would trace you 5 years after you left the university, just to see whether what they have given us are executed or are internalized after we have left the university. So that is one way of assessing whether what we have included in our teaching and learning activities are internalized, acted out, upheld by our alumni. So that is one way of assessing. Now, we might not be able to assess it through examination or assessment, but one important way is to trace them after they have left us 5 years after graduation. That is one way to assess as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Prof.
Yeah,
That's a
but
good
maybe,
idea.
maybe for the scholarship of teaching and learning, research can be conducted on how to best teach ethics to accounting students, right?
Yes, yes, thank you, Prof. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, Prof.
There are many hands. There are many hands raised.
Yes. Maybe I'll just read first from the chat. We'll take turns with the raising hands. Okay, so this is from Dr. Munawiza. Assalamualaikum, Prof. I am an alumni and just returned to ICOL as an academic fellow after 23 years in the industry, learning and excited to become a murabi. Any general advice for practitioners like me, eager to contribute to the university's jihad effectively?
I think that is not a question but a pledge.
General advice for practitioners like her to
Hmm.
contribute to the university's jihad effectively.
Masya Allah, tabarakallah. I think you are doing one now. You are attending a training which will empower you to start becoming a murabbi. I think you are already a murabbi because you have this line of thought.
MashaAllah. I agree, Prof.
Jazakallah, Prof. Alhamdulillah. Shukran.
Afwan.
Okay, so let us go to the raising hand. Okay, I think the first one that raised hand is Dr. Mehmet or Dr. Siti Nur Nadila.
Dr. Mehmet first, I saw, yeah.
Dr. Mehmet, any question?
I think Dr. Siti is the first.
Dr. Siti first. Okay, Dr. Siti.
Oh, okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Dr. Raini, and thank you so much, Prof. Shukran, for sharing your experience and perspective. I'm glad you don't see work-life balance as outrightly un-Islamic. I understand the challenge of balancing responsibilities, and as you rightly mentioned, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. And I think this is very important because true balance involves recognizing that not all tasks are equally important. What balance to one may not be our time and energy or best spent, ensuring that our work remains purposeful and enriching. So this means we should not simply accept every demand without assessing its impact on our overall goals. And I was just wondering if you would agree with that, like not being a yes person at work. Do you think that's going to be strategic when it comes to the rules of an academic, like prioritizing like different tasks demanded from us? And I think again, work-life balance doesn't necessarily mean working less. It teaches us to prioritize quality over quantity in our work instead of seeing work-life balance as a rigid formula, Prof. I think it's important to recognize that managing various and sometimes conflicting demands is a natural part of life, because by acknowledging this complexity, we can somehow avoid burnout and ensure that our efforts align with our values and well-being as an academic and the different hats that we also wear at the same time. What do you think, Prof? Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think there are many views which I agree with you, Nadila, because I don't subscribe to like one straight-jacketed way of working in academia. And my mentor, who is not in IIUM, says that we are academic, we're not staff. So what does it mean? It means that you do not have a specific official time. Right? You do not have that unless there is a specific slot given to you for you to accomplish your task, like teaching. Teaching has been assigned for you, okay, to be in certain time, so you do. I mean, you go to your class at the specified time, or meetings, which is not flexible. Like you cannot do meeting according to your own time, but according to your superior's time, right? So yeah, other than that, okay, you can choose your own time. You can use your own time to write. You can choose your own time to do research. You can use your own time to manage your teaching or to do some administrative work as well, right? So your question again, Nadila?
No, I was just wondering about your opinion about the whole thing. Like, there's no one size fits all.
Yes,
and
I think that is important.
Yeah.
No size ones. Like, I cannot say that I need everybody to come to work from 8 to 5. And even I was discussing with colleagues on whether we can also allow our staff to come to at 5 p.m. You can start working at 5 p.m. so that we can accommodate part-time students. Right, so now that we cannot work, we cannot have night classes because people have clocked out at 5, right? But if you start working at 5 o'clock and then accumulate 40 hours throughout the 7 days, right? So I think you can achieve many goals, not only for you but for your institution as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And the clocking in and out thing is also problematic.
Mm,
I mean, it goes against the very
mm.
thing that we somehow
Now, some have been advocating of not having clock in, clock out system for academics because academics do not work with
Exactly.
watch, with clock.
Yeah,
Prof.
agree. All right. Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you so much, Prof. Okay, now let's turn to the chat for the questions. So this is from Dr. Nazmus Sayadat. Prof, could you please shed some light on the definition of scholarship? Does research or publication represent scholarship, or there is another form of scholarships available in the academic arena?
Oh, I think scholarship is accounted for by that TCRIP activities to me. The scholarship, like what is scholarship? Like people will go to your literature that you contribute, to know your scholarship. Where you are being promoted, you are being promoted because of scholarship, right? So when you say merit-based promotion in university, that merit is because of your scholarship. And your scholarship is accounted for by what? By your teaching and learning. Is it by hour of teaching and learning? No, but by your contribution to the teaching methods, and that teaching methodology or teaching style or anything to do with teaching is documented as a literature in journal or in book, in module. Yeah, so your question is whether research and publication is part of scholarship? Is that your question?
Yeah, definition of scholarship. Does research or publication represent scholarship, or there is another form of scholarship available?
Yes, research and publication is a form of scholarship, but nowadays, with the advancement of technology, your scholarship is also being recorded or documented in what we call that communication media like video, podcast, right? So that is also a mean to share or to show your scholarship. Dr. Nazmus, have I answered your question?
Thank you, Prof. No, as you were talking about the ethical dimension of our being a Murabbi, because nowadays we can see in academic arena, scholarships is just by only publications, while publication is somehow not an ethical sector anymore. Now we can pay for our publications. Now we can hire people can write. So can we form another type of judgmental way to judge scholarship? Because for me, when I was attending, I know Prof. Kamal Hassan was saying one day that this is Scopus or this ISI or this is just a race. This is not knowledge anymore. So that was in 2014. And now when we are in 2024, because I am recruited new, so I was trying to publishing. So some people approached me, if you can pay this, we will publish your paper. So I found that how come this is considered as the measurement of scholarship? So I just wanted, because you are our supervisor, our boss, our dean. So I just wanted to let you know. So what should be the purpose of scholarship or like measurement of scholarship, Prof?
Yeah, I mean, the mainstream ones are still referring to the papers, the publication that you make. And I think we are now widening the definition of publication, not to limit only on journals, but we are accepting books now. We are also accepting articles in newspaper, magazine, right? But now we are also including materials that you publish online, the video, the podcast, which are IP'd. That can also be a measure that indicate or that prove your scholarship with Erasmus.
Yes, Prof. Thank you.
In IIUM, I think when we consider you for your scholarship advancement, meaning you have advanced in your scholarship, we do not only count how many articles, how many paper, how many book, how many conferences, but we also allow you to write, to show where you have contributed, in your scholarship arena.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah.
Okay, let us turn to the raising hands. Okay, so Dr. Mehmet, your questions, please.
Okay. In fact, there is a very interesting narrative and the discourse going over here. I think this is the first time, Prof. Mira, we have encountered this kind of scholarship. Thank you very much, Prof. Shukran. I have some 4 or 5 elements to highlight, but I don't need to collect your answer, to be frank.
Yep.
I think that currently universities are in crisis. Your promotion of IIM is very nice, but I have significant suspiciousness of how IIM out of this crisis. So if I convert this idea into a question to you, because you're a professional in psychology of institution, how do you measure the psychology of IIM? How do you evaluate it? How do you discover and disseminate this knowledge? The second one is that, of course, rightly, we are in nation-state buildings, in nation-state conditions. We promote our nations, our citizens. So we create a new generation of citizens. So I think that humanity is experiencing a new era. In fact, since beginning of the middle of last century, we need global citizens. So you refer to Almarhum Hassan, Kamal Hassan, emphasizing that me, myself, community, nature, and supernatural communication and correspondences are very important, but in current situation, we should add the global citizenship factor as well. The third one is that learning from others. We emphasize Murabbi. Yes, I feel myself in theology faculty. In fact, I graduated from sociology of religion. I know the atmosphere and the feelings. Do we exactly teach as Murabbi, or at the same time, we should be ready to learn from others, including non-academic staff or the cleaning staff around over here on campus. So I think this is also very important, as much as to be a Murabbi, to be a new learner in each environment. The third one is teaching task, researching, publication, and last to the friends, colleagues highlighted scholarship. I think scholarship is not publication only, but quality of publication, the powerful narrative and the discourse in our publications. I don't believe that this KPI not much important anymore. Yes, important, but we should divide which one, which journal, which article important, which one is not important. Of course, the knowledge production is equal to creation of power, definitely. So, but what knowledge we produce, this is the important one, I guess. I think this is enough not to occupy the platform. Prof. Shukran, thank you very much. You're very encouraging and innovative presentation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
Thank
barakatuh.
you, Dr. Muhammad. I want to agree with all your points, right? Especially number one, we need to do a reality check on whether we are really doing or accomplishing the 7 missions, right? Yes, I think you stress on the sound scholarship. Yes, we need to make sure that we do not only publish, but we publish important, genuine, impactful material to be benefited by all sets of community. I think you also mentioned about, what is the third point, please?
Global
Leading, I think learning from others. Yes, I mentioned.
Yes.
I once mentioned to our rector, yeah, we are leading the way, but leading the way also necessitates us to being led by others. In order to be good leader, you have to also, allow yourself to be led by others at certain time as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Mehmet. Thank you, Prof. Shukran. Okay, let us turn to the chat. So there is a question from Prof. Suhaimi. Assalamualaikum, Prof. What do you reckon on the cadres of scholars?
Oh, talent management is this on me? Are we talking about talent management? How do we make sure that we have future scholars or future professors? Are we doing are we what you call that are we preparing cadre for IUM, Dr. Suhaimi? Can you elaborate, Prof. Suhaimi?
Yes, correct, Prof. I'm referring to the cadre. If
Yeah.
you see now, the succession plan not very clear. If you see once our big scholars pass away one by one or resign, then we don't have a successor. Especially certain discipline, we deprive from the scholarship.
Yes.
And yet we do not plan the cadres. I think we have our caps at the national level, and we have our CPD, but I can still see, from at least the College of Economics. For example, right now I'm the only professor of management that of younger one. Considered the rest are all contract and above 50 or 60. That I mean, this not sustainable for a department, old department like ours department at 1984. Move forward, that we should have more cadres. But
Yes.
In terms of talent management, we don't cadre people, but rather we provide employment. People can come, because we used to have that term, people come and go, and we don't worry about the continuation of scholarship because our bread and butter is Islamization. But people come and go, they are not subscribed to our values. That's what my concern, Prof.
Yes, I think you're very right. You're very right, Professor Saimi. We are doing succession planning, if at all we have, only on the administrator's post, right? So I think the concern was on how to avail competent Kulliyyah leader or university leader in the future, if at all we are doing that. But I think one important scope that we have to give attention is on the succession of scholars, right? So like you said just now, the perspective is only on the incumbent, right? When you have a warrant, you can fill the warrant with any incumbent, regardless whether the incumbent he has the attributes of IUM scholar. Am I right, Dr. Suhaimi? Yes. We have raised this concern, Professor Suhaimi, that we need to focus on the succession of IUM scholars, not any ordinary scholar, but IUM scholars who do not have the subject matter expertise, but having the institutional expertise as well. Hello?
Prof. Suhaimi?
Yes, Prof. That's what I mean. IUM scholars, because we have our pioneers. We have Prof. Kamal Hassan, almarhum, already left us. Prof. Razali Nawi left us, and then at our economics also resigned, or because they cannot be continued. Then what happened to us? So the IUM scholars already. Then people say, are you really IUM scholars?
Whether
or you are just
what
someone who have a very high papers in Scopus and WAS.
Agak bawa bekal ke?
Okay, next.
Okay, right, Prof. One last question in chat before we turn to the one raised hand. Prof, this is from Dr. Nasrin Nasir. Human beings are political. They form groups and pursue certain aims central to the group. As academics, sometimes we are not in the dominant group. What do we do to pursue success?
Wow. Okay, I think I have that tips just now in the personal level, right? I think you have to befriend all people, try to try to engage others, try to mobilize support as well. I know that this is easy said than done, but perhaps we do not confine ourselves to only our preferred group, right? Yeah, but befriend to anybody whom we can help or whom we can facilitate, because one day it will come back to us. I mean the good ones, inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, one Last raised hand, Dr. Shamsuddin Abdullah.
Bismillah, Assalamualaikum. Forgive me for not being able to open the camera. This comment is about your point about emphasizing the inculcation of ethics here. So here I'm actually, this question coming from CFS, whereby we actually teach students in which we need to do something in order so that what we do have some predictive validity after they graduate, okay, after 4 to 5 years, okay. My question here is that since in the education or in the world sector there, the landscape changed, the educational sector changed, tapping into your expertise in IO psychology and personal psychology, you would probably know better about the pattern of what is required after 5 years or whatnot. My question here is, it's a forecasting question. What is your advice to us, CFS staff, academic at the moment here, for us to focus on what kind of ethics that we should focus on, in which whereby it still have some strong predictive validity so that upon they graduate, okay, it is still, those values are still relevant and useful. That's it, thank you.
Yeah, very important question you raised, Shamsuddin. I think I and Dr. Haryati at one time, we shared, we presented a paper on the teaching of values in IUM. That was, I think, in the year 2004, I think, only to be questioned by some audience. Some audience responded. That was an international conference on higher education. Their question was, why are you wasting your time teaching your students values? Because when you teach them values, you are only preparing them not to thrive in the world of work, because the values that you are teaching will make them shy, humble, or they will exclude themselves from the mainstream group, because the world of work is very aggressive, very fierceful, very negative in that sense. So the positive ones will not join, right? So that was the idea. That was the idea. But we say that no, because we are not only preparing our graduates to thrive or to survive in the world of work, because to them, to survive in the world of work, you have to be somehow crooked, right? You have to be using some negative tricks or tactics as well, right? Which might not be Islamic or ethical as we are teaching in IUM. Yeah, your question here is, how do you teach, or what do you teach in CFS?
Correct, yes.
I think what we have to teach, what we have to stress is on self. I think we need to introduce our students to themselves. Okay, who are they, or what are they, okay, as an insan or as a manusia, right? Who are they dealing with? Okay, what are they going to face? Not only to prepare them or to get them ready to join undergraduate program, and whenever they join undergraduate program, so our task is not only to prepare them to enter the world of work, but to fare well in the world of work, to fare well in their family, okay, to become good father, to become good mother. This is missing, right? So we only focus on them becoming good worker, good subordinate, while they have to also become good father and good mother, to become good daughter, to become good son, and to become good Khalifa, to become good Abid, okay, to fare well also in the hereafter. Right, I think this is what we always teach, and the best dua that our Prophet Muhammad SAW taught us is Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Right, but we recite this dua, but we have to also empower them to attain this hasanah. Right, so how to enable them to attain hasanah as a student, and later as a worker, as a father, as a mother, okay, as an abid, who are going to live forever. You're going to live forever, not on this world, but in the hereafter as well. But how do we prepare that? And I think this information or this idea is important. right? I think this is the mother of all ethics, knowing ourselves and knowing where we are moving towards, from where we are, and towards where we are going to. And this is what our Ustaz told us last time, that you are a Khalifa. What is Khalifa? Khalifa is a person who is going to take care of this world. Siyasatul dunya and hifzuddin. Right? So you are going to safeguard the deen and also administer the world so that you would thrive well on this world and also in the hereafter. Samsudin.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Okay, so we have less than 5 minutes, so we can have only one question from the raising hand, Dr. Muhammad Yusuf. But Dr. Nick Muhammad Saiful, you've given a question in the chat room. This one we will pass to Prof. Shukran later. Prof. Shukran maybe can reply writing, okay? All right, so Dr. Muhammad Yusuf, your question, please.
Okay, Bismillah. Just a very short question, Prof. A very enlightening talk. Your view on online learning, because we know we are having online now and we benefit a lot from you and benefit a lot from you. And in future, the mission of many of universities to have more students and allowing them to enter online. So how you instill all of these values when you talk about to those online? What do
Yeah,
you
there
think?
was a topic, that was a question raised in one of our official academic discussion. How do we instill values through online learning, right? So what do we transfer or what do we teach students when we are online? Are we only teaching them subject matter, and they are also learning from a subject matter? How do they catch values? Right, so I've heard that many institutions are now questioning the efficiency of online learning, especially when their focus is also on a fact, on other than the subject matter, right? So if you talk about psychology, I think Samsudin and many can help me here. That you have attention. When you are learning require attention. Right, so can you give attention to also values when you are learning online? Now, we do not want to deny the importance of online learning. We cannot just neglect or negate the function that online teaching and learning could play, but we have to come up with the best way to do that. Right? Let's give some benefit of the doubt to online learning first, but to come up with the effective way on how do we teach values on online learning. One friend told me, you Muslim always teach values, but you forget that values are not taught, values are caught. Right? So how do you make your students catching values while you are teaching them online? Because teaching is not only using verbal language, but non-verbal language as well, Dr. Mira. Yes, yeah, we have to maybe take up a project on how to best teach values through online learning. Now, you cannot stop like outreaching the world, okay, just because you do not believe in online learning, right? So you are wasting the opportunity of outreaching the world if you do not want to take up online learning as a platform to disseminate knowledge, especially the Islamic knowledge.
Yeah, but sorry, Prof, to interrupt. Just want to make sure that we don't confuse the audience as well from the questions of Dr. Yusuf. So I would like to also understand Dr. Yusuf's question when you are teaching, when you're talking about online learning. What kind of online learning are you referring to? Because there are so many types of online learning. We do have a lot of assumptions among our colleagues that coming to the class, seeing the students in person, but you don't actually deliver. We do have cases in which the lecturers come to the class, but when it's actually in the class, the lecturers have just going through from YouTube to another YouTube to another YouTube. So that's, even though it's not online learning, even though it's a face-to-face learning, it is not as effective. It is as if, as not effective as unplanned online learning. But we also have some cases in which the lecturers using a flipped learning, a very intentional kind of learning activities, and it was effective. So I think we have to be careful also giving the term to certain activities, because we have to zoom in into the actual activities, what is being done. Then only we can make sense whether it is ethical, unethical, effective, not effective, and so on. Yeah. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Dr. Azizi, I've copied your question, inshallah. I will text you.
Thank you. All right, so Alhamdulillah, we are at 1 minute left. So let's take picture. Thank you so much. Before that, thank you so much to Prof. Shukran for sharing us
Thank
with
you very much, and also my apologies for any, mistake in my presentation or anything bad that I have said.
It was wonderful, Prof. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm going to take the first screen. Okay, let's turn on your camera, please. So, Prof, Alhamdulillah, at the maximum, I noticed that the number of participants almost 220. 220. So now we have 153. Okay, right. So first screen, smile. Okay. Second screen. Smile. Third screen. Smile. And the last one. Smile. Right, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much again, Prof, for sharing with us your valuable knowledge, expertise, wisdom. So inshallah, we'll meet again in future, and also to the rest of you in the next CPD training. With that, let's end with Tasbih Kafarah and Surah Al-As.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, everyone.